and MockLink Internet, online at mpw.org. Each weekday morning, our local talk segment brings you the people who are helping move our community forward. Let's start the show.
Good morning, AM 860 FM 95.1 KWPC. I'm Jordan Davis. It's time now for Moving Forward here this morning on this Wednesday, September 19th. Glad to be here with you. We're going to kick off Moving Forward as reminding you that it's brought to you by Muscatine Power and Water. MockLink Internet and TV are the best value in entertainment and connectivity, and getting better with world-class fiber. Subscribe now, and you'll get fiber when it comes to your neighborhood. Learn more at mpw.org. I'm Jordan Davis, and this is Moving Forward. Joining me in the studio this morning, Ryan Brimeyer from the Muscatine County Conservation Board. How are you this morning, Ryan?
Doing great, Jordan. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. We're really excited to have you in. As always, it's a pleasure to talk to the Muscatine County Conservation Board because you guys do what I love to do, and that is be outdoors and out in the wilderness and doing stuff. And you're a park ranger, is that right?
Correct, yep.
Okay, park. I couldn't remember if that was your official title or not, but
yeah, park officer, but
park officer. Gotcha. Okay, so let's talk. We've talked before about it, but it's been so long since you've been in. Give us the detail of some of your duties.
Summertime I'm pretty busy looking over the park. I'm mainly down at Deep Lakes Park, so that's kind of my home during the summertime, as I call it.
We can't beat that down in Deep Lakes Park.
That's not too bad. It gets warm some days, but
yeah.
But I'll enforce the rules and laws down there. Do that kind of stuff, and during the week I'll try to do maintenance, get the park ready for the weekend, and get it ready for people to enjoy. So.
And you guys had kayaks and canoes and stuff down there all this last summer too. So you probably were pretty busy. Yeah. Were you the one that would run that schedule, or like if folks came out to rent stuff or anything like that?
Yeah, I would help get the canoes and kayaks down there, and then we have a seasonal that helps us out. He takes care of the beach for us and kind of helps me, keep up with the maintenance of the park. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Deep Lake Park is a very interesting little piece of land, because I went out there and I looked around and I wanted to come out. Just the only issue was I wanted to come out and run a canoe and a kayak, but I don't get off until after the kayaks were already gone for the day, so I never really had the chance to. But it did look like a lot of fun. I'd love to get out on that water and do some fishing, because it is gorgeous to get out there. But so we'll talk more about Deep Lakes Park in a minute here. But let's talk a little bit. I know we've got some programs coming up. Let's get those. Let's get those in people's ears so that they know what's going to be going on.
All right, yeah. Coming up here on October 13th, I believe that's a Saturday. We have the Halloween hike coming up. Basically, what that is you get a ticket. You pre-register, get a ticket. You go out on a hike. I think they go out every 10 minutes, starting at 6:30 until 8:30. And you go hike around Discovery Park. That's where it's going to be this year. And you stop at different stations. And I'm not sure what the theme is this year. But based on what the theme is for the year, they'll have different animals, and you'll stop and listen to their little skit, and then move on to the next thing. So it's kind of an informational thing as well as entertainment.
Awesome. And Halloween themed, I'm sure.
Correct. Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That should be a lot of fun. You got to love that, because that'll get kids involved out there, get them used to walking Discovery Park, maybe, and incite them to maybe come back on a normal day and go for a hike.
Correct.
Goodness gracious, sorry about that. I think my allergies are just kicking in, finally.
I think so.
I think today was the day that they decided that it was just going to hit me. So, any more programs that are going to be coming up? Anything more that folks ought to know about? Anything that that the Muscatine County Conservation Board's involved in that you really think folks ought to know?
It's nothing really new. We got some programs, going on throughout the year. They started up on September 13th and 15th. It just depends on the polywog playtime. That's for the younger kids. 18 months through 3 years. I think Michelle kind of touched on that before.
Yeah.
So
I remember polywog because she reminded me of what that meant. A tadpole. I hadn't heard that years and years.
But those go on every Thursday, every second Thursday of the month, from 9 to 10 a.m. And pre-registration is required. So just make sure you can do that by calling into the Discovery Park at the Environmental Learning Center, or going online to our website, or I think you can, or just visiting visiting Discovery Park. And
gotcha.
And then there's also the knee-high naturalist for the older kids. That's this one Saturday a month from 10 to 11 a.m. And I don't think that falls on a specific day. It's just you can check that out online and
okay, excellent.
Check those dates out. But pre-registration is required for that as well.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So get in now, because it isn't. Those are important programs for kids to get involved in, because we need kids to know just how important conservation is. It seems like it's becoming less and less, like a normal thing for kids to be out and be in nature. Everybody's in front of their screens. Yep. Nobody's out running through the woods anymore, it seems. Which, when I say that, it sounds kind of ridiculous, out running through the woods, but that's what I did when I was a kid.
That's what I did, too.
So, that's really cool. So we'll talk about more of that, but I know that there's also some new additions coming to, or a new addition came, and then there's more coming to Deep Lakes Park, right?
Yeah, we upgraded our bathrooms at the beach area of Deep Lakes Park. Before, we just had porta potties there, and we're slowly trying to add, bathrooms that are a little bit nicer. Not that the porta potties are that bad, but anything can really beat those. So,
yeah, it's a
little
porta
more
potty
space, and they're non-modern bathrooms, so there's no running water, but they'll be a lot nicer. They'll have hand sanitizers and all that stuff, so they should be really nice for the beachgoers.
And will it be just like one on the beach, one men's, one women's on the beach, and then, or will there be some scattered?
There's 2 stalls up top in the beach parking lot, and it's for either sex. So
okay.
That way, if say if we did it men and women's, maybe the men's or women's side got backed up, and they'd have to wait. This way, if there's an open stall, someone can use it. So.
Excellent. Yep. Well, that's great. And then also cabins are in their final stages of planning, I think you said?
Yeah, we're kind of getting towards the end of the planning, and pretty soon we should start seeing some kind of work going on down there. We got to bring infrastructure in, electricity and some water. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but you should start seeing some work going on here. Hopefully, if not by this winter, we'll definitely early next spring. So.
Okay. Where at will those cabins be located? Like, where specifically on the park?
We're going to have 2 of them off of Hall Road Pond and then 2 off Deer Lake. So those are back. If you're familiar with the area, there's a yellow gate that goes across what they call the Hall Road when that used to be an active mine.
I think I know the one. Mm-hmm.
And you walk back there. And as you're walking back, you look off to the right. There's the trail kind of wraps around there. And then right up back in that area, we used to call that the first loop, just because before we did some of the groundwork to get ready for the cabins, that was a loop road there that they used. So.
And now, are these going to go in like on a true foundation, like they're just going to be built like any home?
Really, it's just a modular home. It comes in a couple pieces, slapped together, and then whatever you have to do for work on the inside. Mm-hmm. And get everything ready on the outside, and they'll be ready to go. So
excellent. That should add quite a bit of value there out there to and it's at Deep Lakes Park, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah. That'll add quite a bit of value, because can you imagine going out there and I'm sure you have in the past, but going out there, being out there that early in the morning, and if you have a canoe or a kayak or something, just going and getting on the water on a weekend morning, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely nice and peaceful in the morning. Mm-hmm. There's not as many people around, and kind of enjoy the nature a little bit more. So,
what are the waterfowl like out there at Deep Lakes? I haven't been out like this time of year, or coming as it's getting a little cooler. We're going to see quite a few more moving through. What's it like out there? Is it a popular spot?
Yeah, it's kind of a resting spot for a lot of them. Mm. You'll see throughout the year. You'll see the Canada goose there. Mm. Other than that, I've seen some swans out there in the springtime, but they never stick around, obviously. Mm-hmm. See some pelicans every once in a while in the spring.
When I was out on the river just a couple weekends ago, I saw more pelicans than I've ever seen in my entire life in one weekend.
Yeah, they're kind of migrating back now. So in the springtime, you'll see them flying. They'll fly way up in the sky, and you'll kind of be able to tell them. They're obviously pretty big birds.
Yeah, they're huge.
They kind of fly around in that circular pattern. So
yeah, if you watch them, they do kind of like, it looks like they do very similar to what snow geese do. When you watch big groups of snow geese like gathered on a pond or anything, they start to tornado, a little tornado over that lake or pond or whatever. Right, yep. Well, the pelicans look like they do that up in the air as they're just floating across.
They're kind of riding those air currents.
The thermal updrafts, right? And it was crazy to me. I saw them one day, and they were way too big to be snow geese, and I just was not 100% sure. I was like, man, those are big birds, but they're doing just what I recognize snow geese to do. Right, so those pelicans are something else. And
some you really don't expect to see in Iowa. I mean, a lot of people that aren't familiar with the area, and you see those, and you're like, oh, what are those, And
yeah, because they got that big bulge on their neck, and they just don't look natural to this area at all. You aren't used to seeing those.
That's cool
but
to see. So.
It is, and seeing those swans fly over too. Just I see more pairs than I see of groups of them. But watching those, they're huge animals, crazy big birds, and their necks just I don't know anybody watching on YouTube or anything like that. Huge birds. Though that's enjoyable to me. So being able to go somewhere like Deep Lakes Park and maybe get the chance to see something like that, or I love to just sit out and watch ducks. Which I go out to the Riverside Park here, right over there. There's so many waterfowl down in there, just in those docks. It's crazy to me. I hear them every morning when I walk out. I can just hear them feed calling and all sorts of stuff. It's crazy to me. I'm not used. I normally have to go very far to find the birds, but here in Muscatine, it seems like you don't have to. You have to look too far.
We're pretty fortunate to be around, a few different bodies of water that attract that kind of stuff. So.
That's awesome. And so we're coming up on hunting season.
Correct.
So that means there's going to be some changes there's going to be a lot more folks going out on the river, maybe to be setting up for duck blinds and stuff, or goose hunting. There'll be more folks, I'm sure, doing, because is there an island around here that folks hunt, or is that further up, like towards Rock Island, I think?
That might be further
I think that's further up.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. So.
Yeah, so it's going to get busy here, I'm sure. Folks will start to see a lot more activity in that sense.
Yeah, you'll see, on our wildlife areas and everything, you'll start seeing a lot more activity. In the summertime, it's pretty quiet with no hunting season. You might run into an occasional person out walking around out there. But this time of year, especially with shotgun season coming up here in December, that's going to get pretty crazy out there. So I
can imagine. What can you hunt with here in Iowa? Can you hunt with more than just shotguns and muzzleloaders?
Yeah, you got shotguns and muzzleloaders, and then they just recently allowed the stray wall cartridge rifles. So.
Okay.
Did I say outlaw? I meant they allow them now.
Oh, okay.
If I said outlaw,
No. I thought you said stray wall, and I didn't recognize that.
Stray wall cartridges. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Now, see, I'm kind of on the edge of it. I hunted in Illinois my entire life, so and all I've ever really hunted with were shotguns and black powder rifles. I've never hunted with anything else because I've never had, I couldn't hunt deer with anything else there in Illinois, but so I've gotten used to it, and plus where I hunt, it's not like I'm shooting very far, but you get some places where, you got a lot of flat ground and you're just surrounded by nothing for a ways. I can imagine just how useful maybe one of those higher capacity weapons would be, because it's just... sometimes you got to take two shots. With a muzzleloader, you don't really get that option.
It's tough to take them down sometimes if you're not, hitting them in the right spots or whatever. So that's why marksmanship's really important.
Oh yeah, and sometimes you'll see. I've watched so many hunting clips and stuff like that, but you watch, a deer doesn't always react to the first shot. Right. So if you shoot and you miss by, I don't know, half an inch underneath, they may not even move. So having that ability to take another shot, that's something. Luckily, I've only taken one deer. I've had a lot more ducks, but I've only taken one deer, and I got lucky. I hit him in just the right spot with a shot, but it wasn't super far. Wasn't super far, like I said. So I've gotten used to that, but I like the idea of maybe having a few more options.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to just kind of seeing what this hunting season looks like here in Iowa.
It should be a pretty good one. I mean,
excellent.
Sounds like numbers are up for pheasants and a few of the other wildlife, so it should be a pretty good one to get out and enjoy the weather. And if you don't get anything, at least you're outdoors. And
I like the saying, and I shouldn't say this while I'm sitting in my office, but most folks say a bad day out hunting is still better than the best day inside at the work desk. But
definitely,
I'm looking forward to it. I just kind of want to go out and see what wildlife looks like out here in Iowa as soon as that starts coming. I want to go watch the duck migrate, because that's oh my gosh, watching sometimes hundreds and thousands of them just fly over, or there's some spots I'm sure here on the river where you can just watch them light in. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool just seeing, all the different waterfowl that does come through the area. I mean, you're not seeing them, a lot of the times when you're out during the summertime. So just a different kind. I mean, look closely when you look for them, because they're very unique. I mean, they're not all the same. They might look the same when they're flying overhead, but
when they
land,
and some if you listen closely, if you're out there in the morning and you listen closely, you can hear a lot of different ducks when they come in. Some of them have different calls that they make when they're just coming in, like wood ducks like to tweet, or they have kind of a whistle that they have when they come in. Oh man, that's a cool sound. That's a lot of fun. That gets my blood pumping when I hear that.
That's
sound.
One of my favorite times of year too. So
well, Ryan.
I've been called a lot worse.
Well, I was thinking Brimeyer. So Ryan, what else? Is there anything else you guys really want to push forward and let folks know before we sign off here?
I don't think so. Just we're winding out of summertime, and the nice cool weather's going to start getting here. So try to explore some new things that you normally wouldn't get out and do. I mean, that aren't as enjoyable to do in the summertime.
In the summer heat, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, walk some trails, ride your bike, go fishing. It's a good time to go fishing, and fish are really active this time of year. If you don't hunt, just go out and walk around the areas, on a weekday or whatever. I mean, obviously be mindful for hunters and respect them, but just do things that you wouldn't normally do in the summertime because it's too hot. So.
I'm sure. So there's public hunting lands around here. So most folks should know, probably avoid those during hunting season.
It might be tough.
If you are going to go out, I strongly suggest wearing bright colors.
Yeah,
and normally blaze orange is the standard.
Right. I mean, like it wouldn't hurt just to throw on a blaze orange sweatshirt or whatever. But really, the big thing is just keep an eye out for what seasons going on right now. It's not as big of a deal with archery or whatever. You still want to respect. Those people out there and make sure you're not encroaching on their area, I guess. But
the only reason I even say, like, I've got no problem with folks, going out during hunting season, places like that, and walking around. I mean, that's whatever. But I just know from past experience, when I've been out hunting on public land, some folks came through walking their dog right across from our shooting alley.
Yeah.
That's just scary as a hunter because we're camouflaged up in the weeds, and there's just folks walking a little ways down. Which if the grass had been any taller, we would have never seen them. Never seen them.
Yep. So just keep an eye out for those seasons and try to avoid those. But other than that, I mean, get out there and enjoy it because this is really the best time of year.
It absolutely is.
Between that and spring, you can't really beat the weather. So.
Nope, you certainly cannot. Well, I'm looking forward to this year, getting to see Iowa's fall for the first time. So I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be a fun one. Well, thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you.
It has been a pleasure. Ryan Brimeyer from the Muscatine County Conservation Board joining us here this morning, talking a little bit about some of the programs that they have, some new additions to Deep Lakes Park, and also the upcoming change in weather, which I don't know if we can even call it that yet because it's supposed to be, 85, 87, something
Sounds
like
like
that
Friday
today.
is supposed to start getting a little nicer and fall
well,
might be here.
We had like 2 weeks of nice weather, of almost 70, or like mid-70s. That was beautiful. If we could bring that back and keep it for about 2 months, I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah, give us a break between summer and winter.
Please. All right. Well, thank you, Brian. It's been a real pleasure having you on this morning. This has been Moving Forward, brought to you by Muscatine. Power and Water. Mocklink is always Muscatine's fastest internet, and gigabit speed is coming. Mocklink TV beats satellite and includes video and music streaming. New subscribers save big, even more when you bundle. Learn more at mpw.org. I'm Jordan Davis. Thanks for joining us here for Moving Forward here on the voiceofmuscatine.com.